In this episode of the Clarity Digital Pod, I sat down with Courtney Messerli, Director of SEO and AI Strategy at The Center, a brand incubator and investment firm based in West Hollywood. Courtney shares her extensive SEO journey, how AI is transforming her work, the search landscape, and why search marketers must adapt now to stay ahead. Let's get into it. All right, let's go. I'm excited today. Welcome, Courtney. Appreciate you coming to our podcast today.
Of course. Thanks. Excited to be here.
Yeah, for those that don't know you, I have known you for probably, how long has it been since COVID? Like 2020? I've known you since 2019, a year before COVID. I was hired at Ninth Wonder. You had just left and they hired me to replace you. And I was just looking at some of the work you had done for one of the projects, migration. I'm like, okay, this SEO expert is a real deal. So since then, I've been trying to stay close to you, and we've been chatting about SEO and AI and all that good stuff. But it's probably better if you introduce yourself for our audience. That would be wonderful.
Yes, will do. Thanks, Al. Hello, I'm Courtney Messerli. I am the Director of SEO and AI Strategy for a brand incubator / investment firm, which is The Center in West Hollywood. And I do some fun consulting on the side when it comes to SEO, content strategy, AI strategy as well. As Al mentioned, I passed the torch to him when I left Ninth Wonder. And after Ninth Wonder, I went to Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow's company. I had done a lot of e-commerce in the past prior to Ninth Wonder. I was at Nasty Gal in its heyday, and then Anthropology in Philadelphia, moved back to LA, and then was at Goop for 3 years. So that was super interesting and fun. And then a part of my team at the Center is also from Goop. Carried over, stayed with the same boss and a couple of my counterparts there. And yeah, it's been a really fun trajectory, more so in the beauty and wellness space currently, but have some clients across other verticals, like non-competing industries. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Awesome. And craziest time ever to be in SEO right now. And yeah. I'm loving it.
Craziest time because of AI or?
Yeah, just all the change. I feel like there's so much opportunity right now. And there's always a desire for paid and so much talk about paid. And I've really kind of stayed in the SEO, content strategy, AI strategy vertical. And I feel like it's like finally getting the attention and the momentum from executive boards and CMOs. So we're in a good place right now. And I kind of want to go hard on SEO and AI strategy while the momentum and the interest is there, and really see what we can do with it.
Cool. Yeah. Let's just talk about that. How is AI changing SEO? What's the state of SEO right now?
Gosh, yeah. It's changing the way we search. I've always viewed prompts as a type of query. So when ChatGPT first came out, I think I really started to play with it December of 2022. So pretty much at inception. I remember Christmas Day. I just got into ChatGPT and just started doing everything I could with it and couldn't believe how powerful it was. It was like a light bulb moment, life-changing moment. And yeah, it's changing user behavior. It's changing the landscape of the actual search engine result pages. Everything looks super different. Brand visibility still reigns important and of utmost importance, only becoming more and more important, and just really owning your brand narrative and brand voice across any platform you found on.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I'm going to, since you don't work for Clarity Digital, I'm going to swap the logo on the other side. Better? All right, cool. Sorry, I should have done that before
we started
recording. Cool. So yeah, I just saw that. But yeah, I think the most important part of AI is users, how users are using it. And then we, the marketers, SEO experts, we need to figure out how they're using it and optimize for that users. You agree with that, right?
Yes, exactly.
That what are some of the patterns when it comes to SEO? Yeah, what are some of the patterns that you've seen? Are users actually conversing more in their prompts, or are they basically, it's like a search prompt, a search query, maybe a little more long tail?
Right. Yeah. It depends on the intent. In the skincare vertical, for example, I've noticed a lot of people are like looking for routines, and that integrates both informational intent and transactional intent. But I really think it just depends on the intent. But Some people go to Google for those, and some people go to ChatGPT or another LLM like Perplexity, but want to make sure my clients are found anywhere. And I've even just had a lot of interesting feedback in terms of like just having ChatGPT tell me what it knows about the brands that I manage, and then really owning that narrative and owning that citation, because when their own citations, like our company websites, it's a lot easier to influence rankings with little tweaks and adjustments to on-page content or new posts that we're writing in order to not manipulate, but to showcase our offering in the way that we want it to be presented to users in those verticals.
Sure.
So I like
Makes sense.
What is the user seeing, and what is that experience, and how can I tailor that experience to drive more conversion? So first, meeting the informational intent, establishing authority there. And then for a skincare routine, for example, like dry skin, here's this full skincare routine for dry skin. Here's what we know about it. And then really establishing the brands as an authority in the space is being able to deliver product that meets the user intent and the need. So a blend of transactional intent and informational intent, but targeting both, really.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. One challenge that I see with LLMs is that more often when they're in an informational phase, they don't necessarily link out to your content, right? They learn from your content, they're rewarded in the way they want to phrase it, and then to provide the information that you wrote and then present it to the user. And they might put a little bit of footnote link there. It's not just to protect themselves legally, but it's not like the traditional Google. So how do you overcome that? It doesn't even matter anymore. Do we even care about that? Do you as an SEO expert, that's the right thing to do, and then you do it anyways, regardless of whether it brings traffic for you or not?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, is I want the brand mention to be there. Even if they're not linking to us, or even if that link isn't visible, I view it SEO in general and SEO for LLMs in the same vein. If we're not there, our competitors are going to be there. And I would rather us be there. So, we may not have that much control over the little blue links and when those are shown and when they're not, but I always try to focus on what we can control. And my thought is always that if our competitors are trying to optimize for this, we need to get there early, we need to get there fast, and we need to do it slightly better than the competitors, regardless of what Google or ChatGPT decides to display. Really establishing brand authority in that vertical is most important to me.
Yeah, and also the consumer journeys these days are extremely complicated. You could
complicated now.
Yeah, you could be researching in ChatGPT and going to Google and performing the shopping, or you can actually buy money on social media and you see the ads. So I think marketers and SEO experts need to think about the full funnel, not necessarily the classic, okay, I improved your ranking. Okay, now we got X amount of organic traffic growth, and this is X amount of revenues or leads. And that's the challenge that I see with the modern SEO, is that if you're in an environment that understands the value of SEO, and you don't really have to provide, you just obviously have to work hard and do the right thing. But if you don't have to keep proving that you need to keep doing SEO, then you're in a good place. But on the agency side and on the consulting side, and you do a little bit of side work, we come across a lot of clients that are like, okay, why do I want to pay you, I don't know, $5-10 a month, where I can dump that on the ad and get immediate results? And that's an answer that I always struggle with. Do you have, how would you answer that?
I like to answer that we should be in both places. You need to be in the ads and the organic listings and the LLM placements. It's only going to build brand authority showing up across different verticals. And at my main job at the investment firm I work at, it's so important. It's like more important than ever that we're working super cross-functionally. And even though I've always been much more skewed towards the organic side, I'm even helping with some paid ad initiatives, like on Reddit, for example, to like bridge that gap of, here's a product that we're pushing, here's what we're marketing it as, but here's all the various ways that a user could come across that product. Having the channels work tangentially in order to meet the same goal is key. So I think like brand messaging and even messaging around a specific product is super important to have cohesion across channels. especially because different LLMs and Google is hitting so many different sources. It might not all be owned citations. So really keeping a track of what PR is doing, what paid is doing, what email marketing is doing even.
I'm glad you brought it up because I was in San Francisco for inbound. Hops on inbound. It was a lot of fun.
We need to talk about that soon too.
We should definitely. And I'm the type of guy that, like, when I'm out of town, obviously the default coffee is Starbucks, but I like good espressos, good coffee. So I went on Perplexity. I'm like, what are some of the local coffee shops that are not chained? I wasn't looking for Starbucks or coffee beans. I wanted local, and San Francisco is known for its good coffee and into the culture. And it gave me a list, and from the list, I got curious. I'm like, why did you give me this list?
I do that too.
Yeah, and then it just said basically, one of the coffee shops didn't have a website, but it was in the top 5, and it was basically it was just reviews.
Listings, or
it was a local listing. So this is a local search. I'm like, give me the top coffee shops, or I think the search I had was organic coffee shops, non-chain, and it gave me a list of a few. And I'm like, how did you come up with this list? Is it based? And then it basically said, Perplexity basically said it was based on the reviews and ratings. And then I converse back and I'm like, but the reviews and ratings can be fake. I understand that could be possible, but I look at different reviews and ratings. I'm like, okay, well, which sites? Then they listed out Google listings, it listed out Yelp, then it listed out another coffee directory, the very popular coffee directory. And I said, what about Facebook? I didn't do it this time, but sometimes I look at Facebook too. Basically, and then I went through each one, and one of the coffee shops didn't have a website. So I was like, okay, in this case, the website SEO didn't matter. It was all about off page. It was all about the reviews.
Like levels the playing field for smaller coffee shops that don't have a digital presence in terms of their own content. This external content is super important to them.
Yeah, and then shifting toward, this was an example for local, but it's same thing that applies for lead gen, same thing that applies for e-commerce. All right, we as CEOs, we have to like looking at our online reputation. Is it good? Is it bad? And how do we improve it? That's something that I've noticed is happening a lot with AI. And this is something we always had to do anyways, but now it's more visible. It's more prominent. Like we have to. And I don't know, sometimes depending on the environment, sometimes it's easier said than done. How do you, when you do off-page SEO, I guess the question is that, how do you go about that? Is it you're in charge, or do you like collaborate with different teams? I know the off-page is usually the most challenging part of SEO because there's less in control of us.
Yep. That's a great question. And I love that you just used Perplexity as an example, because I've been diving into that a lot recently for like the skincare, body care brands I mentioned that I manage incubator. So I will often do test searches of what do you know about X brand? And what I really like to do is see where LLMs are grabbing that content. Like you mentioned, asking where did you find that? So oftentimes for ChatGPT, I'm having an entirely different experience than I'm having for and I love to dig into the intricacies. On ChatGPT, I got a lot of content pulled from our brand-owned websites and a lot from Reddit, and then some from third-party like media sources. Then when I went to Perplexity, it was the third-party media sources that were really displaying all of the important information. And one for a body care company I managed, Cycler, the results came from Marie Claire and Harper's Bazaar. And we're a new brand. We have a celebrity kind of influencer, CEO, founder. So you're getting a lot of good press. But it was interesting across all the various press outlets that we had. It was those two, Marie Claire and Harper's Bazaar. And it was the best of like listicles that those placements were referencing, because I was searching like, what are the top perfume oil companies, or what's the best new perfume oil companies, just mentioning a product that we carry. We had really strong placements, but the placements were strong because of the references from Marie Claire and Harper's Bazaar. So to close that feedback loop, I let our PR team know, like we have an in-house PR team, an agency that we partner with. I'm like, hey, these are the exact type of placements that we want and that are working really well for us in certain LLMs, like actually both ChatGPT and Perplexity. So I'm like, if for future product launches, if we can get in these best of lists on these specific sites for this brand, and brands actually look, or the sites look different, the media sites look different by brand. So that's one example, but for all of the brands, they were various sources. Keep maintaining those placements, but also chasing after more of those media placements that we already know that Perplexity is liking to pull data from.
Yeah. Cool. And how do you measure success of all your AI optimization efforts?
It's still very early days.
Yeah.
Even earlier today, I was exploring some LLM tracking tools, had a call with both Nective and Profound, and then also have Athena on my radar, because it's really, I'm just measuring like brand lift right now and an increase in both direct and organic for brand. And I'm seeing some solid results based on the kind of the LLM targeting that I'm trying to do here.
Yeah.
But I want to get smarter with that. So introducing one of these LLM tracking tools, upgraded SEMrush to get a little bit of AI insights, not a ton.
I think SEMrush uses one of those tools, right?
I think so. Yeah. So getting some insights there, and I've been doing some cleanup in terms of the way brands that we represent or brands that we manage, how they're represented on these LMs. It's been helpful for that, but like I really want to get in deeper in terms of like prompt tracking and prompt tracking by LM. So that's the next step. And I know this is all a bit nebulous right now. There's so many posts going around this week. I think you had one of them that you mentioned.
Yeah.
A different user is going to have a different result based on their user context and user history, just like how Google uses user context in a logged in state. As long as you're not on incognito, ChatGPT and Perplexity are doing the same things. And I was a very early ChatGPT user, so mine feels so dialed in. And a friend will come to me with an AI problem, and they're like, "Wow, yours works better than mine." And I'm like, "It's because I've spent a lot of time training it. I've worked on custom instructions. It knows me and it knows my role and what I do. So it has that context." It's LM tracking like feels a little nebulous right now because they can scrape like the logged out state. Like how many users are logged out versus logged in? I've never used logged in state since I created my account. Yeah, tracking still feels a bit nebulous even with these tools, but I still want to get close. Even if it's directionally relevant optimization ideas, like that still provides value to me.
Yeah, the term that I use in the LinkedIn conversation that you were referring to earlier was, I learned from an MIT professor who called LLMs a statistical lottery. Basically, they give you the best answer they know at the time, and that's why they vary. But my opinion is that we still have to do the right thing. We still have to improve the brand because it's good for you anyways. Hey, you got to work out anyways. You got to eat healthier anyways, and not be so much obsessed with rankings and things like that anymore. Think about how the full funnel is going up. And for an e-commerce client right now, what we've seen is that we've done some really basic work for them, like having an LLM.text and adding FAQs to every blog that they create. They send to me, and I literally give them an FAQ that I need to add at the end. And it was just some really basic stuff. And I've noticed that they're getting more referral traffic from ChatGPT mainly, some Copilot as well. I've also seen, and this is harder to attribute, but I have my intuition is telling me that has something to do with ChatGPT. The branded search has gone up quite a bit. Now,
I think that could safely be attributed to ChatGPT, given mostly everything else staying the same. Because we'll see like a massive lift in Search Console one day, and I'm like, nothing else happened. And then I'll ask social, did we have a TikTok moment or anything around this specific product? And I'm like,
they're like, no,
this could be an LM placement. That's
especially if it stays steady. If it stays steady, if it's not like a one-time thing.
Right.
So and I think my opinions right now, especially right now, since ChatGPT, Perplexity, they don't have a search console, they don't have anything that are providing. I think for now we have to do a little bit of guesswork and just do the right thing. And
I like the working out and eating healthy analogy. That's true. It's we have to do this anyway. We might as well get even more benefits from these healthy.
I want to tell you a secret. I don't do that in real life. I don't eat healthy and I don't work out. So I used to, but then I had a kid and I in my 40s, and I realized how hard it was. Like by the time I'm done working and taking care of her, I'm like, oh my God, it's 9 p.m. I'm going to bed.
That's full-time jobs.
I gotta squeeze it in. I know. And then
Exactly.
I usually eat her leftover, and she doesn't eat very healthy, but she's a kid. She can get away with it.
Exactly. You're doing what you can here.
I'm doing what I can. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
And
I think
liked what you were saying about the FAQs too, because that's what I've been telling the brands we manage. Like, yes, there's so many external sources that these LLMs are pulling from, but there's also so much of your own content that you can really make slight adjustments and have pretty big wins. So I've really been focusing more than ever, like FAQs is a great example. I've also been focusing on optimizing homepages and like really analyzing every word that we're using on a homepage. Also about us pages. When I do a lot of the tell me what you know about this brand, it's coming to our homepages, it's coming to about pages, and we have direct control over our branding and over our messaging. And yes, I might work with an internal copywriter or like someone on the e-commerce side and pass some changes by them. But these are such like quick tweaks that we can make versus like solely relying on these like external placements, like getting in these high profile, like best of lists, for example. So that's really what I'm trying to do is like, what can I have direct ownership with as an SEO and an AI strategist? And then where can I have other teams help me with this? I've been seeing Google AI Mode and Gemini and ChatGPT pull from Instagram and TikTok. So I've sent examples to our paid social teams and be like, look, this is what's happening. And as I share examples, I notice that the team is really interested to share their findings in AI with me. And they're like, oh, it happened again. Like, this TikTok video of ours was mentioned in Gemini. And I'm like, great, that's amazing. So really working on that feedback loop, but also getting like all teams that I work with to start using AI and share their experience and what they're seeing, because it's really a collective effort. I always say that SEO is a super collective effort. And whenever we drive a good ranking, I'm like, it's not just me, it's everyone that I work with that are like helping to contribute to this. And I really see that same value with LLMs and working cross-functionally to meet the same goals.
Sure. The one thing I also like a lot about Perplexity is that when you search something Perplexity, after it's done giving an answer, it will give you a bunch of related. I love, and that has basically turned my FAQ. I was earlier, I can share my screen with you too. I don't want to right now because we're talking, but I was doing for a lender, I was doing some research for personal loan on topics. And I just typed in the word personal loan. And then at the end, it says, okay, it just gives you a bunch of stuff like common uses for personal loan. And then at the end, it asks compared fixed or other related topics versus personal loans, what credit score is needed for top rate, blah, blah, blah. And this is like basically LLM, they're telling you indirectly, this is what people are searching. This is what people need to know. And the topic cluster. So I think going back to that is that we can still, without subscribing to a million different tools, we can still get a lot of stuff out of the current LLMs that we have. We can just simply ask them, give me the popular topics that regarding this people are talking about.
Loving that related section on
the related section. Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah,
it reminds me of targeting Google auto suggest, and people also ask, I'm like, oh man, I love those strategies because I've done a lot of content strategy focused SEO. I'm like, wow, these strategies that are so fun and that us as SEO have been doing for years are so beneficial here as well. But like the related links in Perplexity might look a little bit different than the auto suggest in Google or the people also ask section of Google. So really having that like coverage is incredible. And there's just super valuable snippets that I've always try to suggest to people to see what the output is and see what the LLM is suggesting. There's so much you can garner from that. So I love that you're using it too. It's like a two-way street.
Exactly. And one thing about LLMs is that they're not like Google. They're not being hushed. Google was this closed algorithm that only they knew. And then people like us came and tried to decode it, reverse engineer it. And then sometimes they would admit some stuff, sometimes they wouldn't. But AI is different, right? It's just like it goes through a bunch of information And like I said, statistically give you the best answer. So if you, instead of having that attitude of, oh, I want to reverse engineer, no, you don't need to reverse engineer.
You don't need to. It's giving you a lot to
It's
work
giving
with.
you a lot to work
Even
with.
just the conversational element that we were mentioning of like, why did you choose those answers? That in a way is like reverse engineering, because you're seeing like, how did you get to this result? And if you can reverse engineer the way they got to this result, like that didn't even have a website, for example. It's okay, I need to focus on my Google reviews for local clients, for example.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But going back to the traditional SEO, I saw a post from Barry Schwartz that, hey, 95% of Google users are still using Google. You and we're in a search field, we're techies, we use AI more than average. I think there's going to be a sudden jump where consumers are going to do a what is it called, a leapfrog from Google into LLMs. But until that happens, we still have to really double down on the classic SEO as well. Do you agree?
Oh, I agree 100%. I think of the AI strategy more as like future-proofing a brand strategy versus like immediate results. And there's a little like ego involved. We want to be there before our competitors, of course. And I have a very competitive mindset when it comes to SEO. But it's not just that, it's future-proofing. Like we want to be there and we want to be the canonical source of truth and build those brand associations. One of the brands I manage is a dermatologist developed skincare brand. Like I want to build that association with Google, with Perplexity, with ChatGPT. Like that's not going to change. So we don't want to lose sight of like where we are driving the most traffic and revenue. And right now that's traditional Google SEO, because you're right. Like we are in the thick of this AI space like every day, and we have been for a while now. The general public is not there quite yet, and they might not be comfortable like transacting there quite yet either. Really not losing sight of the traffic that we're driving from Google and Bing even, and seeing what's happening in Search Console, and still having that be a day-to-day part of my role and my team's role, while also future-proofing and like working on that ideal future state. But like you said, there's so much crossover. There's not like a ton of things that I would do differently optimizing for an LLM versus SEO. Oftentimes the tactics that I'm seeing work in LLM, GEO, AEO, whatever you want to call it, are traditional SEO best practices that we've had for years that are just becoming like more prevalent again. Like footer optimization is a thing again, really dialing in what you have on your homepage and about us page, as I mentioned. So, just having
the home,
what we can have control over, because the rest of it is at the whim of Google, ChatGPT, Perplexity. And a lot of people are freaking out about that, but that's not really a valuable use of my time. I'm just like, let's future-proof the strategy while also working on the day-to-day. And we're just really leveling up traffic as a whole. Like I always say as an SEO, like my job is not just SEO, it's digital discoverability. It doesn't matter how a brand found us, really. If they found us and they're converting with us, we got that traffic, we got that conversion. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And I think one of the key for SEO is that, as we talked about it earlier, we should go omni-channel when it comes to KPIs. We got to see how SEO assisted other channels, how it helped social or vice versa, or how it helped, shopping and email. And I think we're at an exciting time, because I think there's a lot of relearning needs to happen. And the challenge I have as a consultant or as an agency side, when we have a client that understands those type of things, and they tend to be a lot easier to work with, but they don't get it. They're like, you know what, we don't want to do SEO. I literally just got off the phone the other day. They're like, oh, we can't figure out SEO. We're just going to spend more money on programmatic. I'm like, fine, you're doing it through us, so I'm not going to complain, but I don't know if I agree with your strategy. Oh, yeah. And I think another thing that we need to keep evangelizing, we need to keep talking about this. We need to keep talking to the CMOs and CTOs and all the decision makers that, hey, it's getting a little bit more diverse, but it's definitely still very important. This is really good stuff. You said you run some ads on Reddit.
You're actually just about to launch a test. So I've really just strategized like the creative so far, but we're looking to launch in a couple weeks, because
Is that like a branding ad, or is it just your hoping to convert
it's going to be around a specific product and how we like what we want to distinguish our product as. the ingredient that is in it, the benefits of it, because we launched the product with a semi like nebulous name. And I want to really build association between the ingredients, the benefits, etc. And we thought Reddit would be a perfect place to tap into that. Our users are already on Reddit, like they're skincare enthusiasts. They're super into these like niche skincare ingredients and skincare products. So it feels very native. And I'm really excited to see how that could benefit SEO as well.
Yeah, please let me know when you find out.
I will, definitely.
Because I know Perplexity is Reddit is one of the places that it really looks at regularly.
I'm seeing
Reddit
referenced in both ChatGPT and Perplexity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at scale.
Yeah, I never got into Reddit as a consumer.
Yeah.
But it feels like now I have to get into it as a marketer. I have to follow.
And with the news of Reddit Search Console coming this week too.
Oh yeah, I don't know. There is a Search Console coming? I didn't know that.
It was just
oh wow.
Released the news like a day or two ago. Yeah, I need
to good stuff.
A little bit more. But I was like, wow, that's very encouraging, because if Reddit is having a Search Console, it really opens up the door. Okay, hopefully Perplexity and ChatGPT are next. We never know.
I just hope it doesn't get spammed to the point that, like how it used to be with Wikipedia, or Google used to refer to Wikipedia, and then everybody started having a Wikipedia page. My dog would have a Wikipedia page.
Even ChatGPT pulls from Wikipedia now. Yeah.
Cool,
it's so funny.
Cool.
I'm seeing like a lot of the trends of the past like that, like you referenced, coming back now.
It's coming back. I think we're going through all that again. And then it's remind me of the early days of SEO, where people were doing a lot of guessing, and they would and someone
were
correct, someone were not. Exactly.
And I feel like that's why I'm having more fun as an SEO like this year than last, because it's really throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks.
We
have these like nice wins. It feels more exciting, since everything is a little bit more nebulous right now.
Yeah, my recommendations to almost every marketer is that take some one-on-one courses on LLMs and what they are and how they actually work, because that really just opens up this whole avenue. Okay, do I want to keep listening to everybody, or do I just want to listen to these people? Because if you listen to everybody, then you're going to go crazy. But then the moment you find out how LLMs work, obviously Perplexity is doing their own little twist, so it's not. But the moment you know how they work, then you have this piecing. Okay, you know what? Following the 80-20 rule, I'm going to do this instead of that. Instead of following this channel and that channel, I'm just going to focus on creating better content that answers people's questions, and make sure our reviews and ratings keep improving and keep going up, keep improving. I'm not going to be in every channel, every social media, because that's just going to drive me crazy. Now, if you have the
example, it really helps us prioritize.
Yeah, prioritize. So you got to prioritize where the wins are. And so far, what I've seen is your digital footprint and just your digital brand and the perception of others, as well as the content on your website, right? So content is important. Off-page is important, obviously, for your website. If it still has to be technically optimized, because you don't want it to be too slow for the LLM. So like the classic SEO again, right?
Yep, it is. Like you have to be able to be indexed. You have to first. The user agents have to be able to hit your site. So
100%.
Allowing 100%. Those chatbots as your bots to hit the site first. So indexation on the technical standpoint, then having the right content, then once you've reached informational intent or matched informational intent, like selling to that user and trying to meet transactional intent. So it's interesting. Yeah. Everything is coming full circle, and it's fun for people like you and I who have been in this space 10, 15 plus years, because we're seeing a lot of what worked in the past, become super important again.
Yeah, for one of my clients, I'm a quote-unquote a fractional CMO. I'm like, I'm not really enjoying this CMO role. I like to be a hands-on practitioner. So now it's like going back to this being a search marketer, which is a lot of fun.
It's fun, and you learn so much by doing. Like you were saying, of like taking in a large language model course, totally on board with that. I've also been telling everyone, just search and how you would on Google, and see how different you search on ChatGPT, and pay attention to those nuances, because it's the future.
100%. Very cool. I know we can talk about this forever, but it is Friday afternoon. We both have to go. So it's been awesome. Maybe we can have you on again for future hopefully when the industry matures a little bit more. I'm talking about the AI search, and we can talk more specifics. But let's talk about some non-SEO related stuff. Yeah, first of all, West Hollywood. I have a love and hate relationship with West Hollywood. Like they have a lot of good restaurants there, a lot of
Yes.
good cafes that I do miss. But I don't miss the traffic and I don't miss some of the craziness in that area.
No, it's crazy over there. So my office is in West Hollywood and I live in San Diego now, actually.
Oh, that's right. I love San
Yeah, so
Diego.
I was affected by the fires and ended up moving, but go out to West Hollywood like twice a month usually to have office time, some
The
good
team
in-person
meetings, yeah.
meetings. And oh my gosh, we work on Sunset Boulevard, and even just the way Sunset Boulevard has changed and so many things closing. It's a weird place to be.
Yeah,
I
it's
have the best of both
unfortunate.
worlds. Like San Diego, most of the time.
San Diego is amazing. There's very little few bad things you can say about San Diego. Most is good thing, right? Like San Diego is amazing. I used to live there past life, so I'm here in Orange County. Yeah, I'm in Orange County now. I'm between LA and San Diego. So if you ever get lost here or you want to go,
or if I just need a break from my drive that I've been doing quite a lot bit lately,
Airborne Spectrum. That's a good place to stop by. That's where our office is. Oh, cool. So what do you do when you're not SEOing?
Oh gosh, yes, I have a lot of hobbies actually. It's funny because I feel like my hobbies are very analog. Like when I'm not working, I'm like, not only get me away from screens and ignore my phone and laptop, but get me outside. I usually spend pretty much the whole weekend outside, like hiking, going to the beach, going on long walks. I'm an Equinox gym girl, so getting away from screens and like having a more analog experience. I'm even finding myself craving like going back to physical books and reading outside versus like a Kindle, because I feel like AI SEO has made me like
technology,
like AI SEO, and then really having a more human experience when I'm not working. So yeah, doing things with my hands that are not on tech, like cooking, dancing, going to concerts, just doing something outside, being active, getting sunshine.
I never finished my master's, so it's 7 class short. So when I was trying to go back and finish it, they're like, "Oh, you can finish it online." I'm like, "No, I don't want it online. I want to go sit in the class, grab a notebook, grab a piece of pen and pencil, and just listen to the teacher." Can I do that anymore or no?
We have to have that balance. I think it's more important than ever, because otherwise we would just be stuck in front of screens like nonstop. And I think
so I understand what you're saying, 100%. Cool. All right. So are you a foodie? Is there any cuisine you like or any type of food you like?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely a foodie. I love trying new restaurants in general. I grew up in Arizona, so I'm definitely like a spicy food, Mexican food, Thai food girl.
You're in the best place to be,
I'm a great place for it. So yeah, I can't complain. I like to both cook and try new restaurants, but definitely a foodie. That's something I always prioritize when I'm traveling. I'm like, okay, you guys can plan the rest, but like I want to plan the restaurants. Where are we eating?
Nice, very cool. So this last question would be a little bit maybe easier, or maybe a little bit you might have to think about it a little bit. But if you were a superhero, which superhero would you be?
Ooh, I would just love the ability to teleport. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Cool.
So some superhero that can teleport.
The teleport, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, which I probably get that from spending 10 years of my life in LA traffic. But there's much more cool teleportation that could be done too.
Yeah. The LA traffic is something I do not miss.
No, I do not.
Cool. Courtney, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. We had a lot of fun. This was really good. I appreciate you and your time, and hope we can have you on again in the near future.
Yes, would love to. Excited about it.
Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.